Not standing in my field, huh? Out sitting in my field. Here's a little bit of Cumberland Gap. Cumberland Gap, see my daddy and my grandpap, Cumberland Gap. Moved to the country, gonna buy me a farm, raise sweet potatoes as long as your arm, long as your arm, long as your arm, gonna raise sweet potatoes as long as your arm, Cumberland Gap. Old Aunt Kate, old Aunt Sal, oh, May sure got a pretty little gal, pretty little gal, pretty little gal, oh, May sure got a pretty little gal, Cumberland Gap. Old Aunt Kate, if you don't care, leave my Demi Johnson right here. If it ain't here and I get back, I'll raise sand in the Cumberland Gap, Cumberland Gap. Lay down, boys, take a little nap, wake up sober in the Cumberland Gap, Cumberland Gap, Cumberland Gap, wake up sober in the Cumberland Gap. If I was a lyricist, I would have thought of some Pickathon verse, but I'm not trying to speak of my own experience or anything like that, you know. I was a blast. Oh man, and that's the biggest square dance I've ever played for. Unbelievable, really great. Oh, easy. I mean, it's kind of hard to count because they won't stay still, you know.
Someone involved with the dance at one meeting said to me it was an issue of what shall we do with the drug addiction. So they did a great job organizing all those people, and people are having a great time dancing. Great time dancing. Music, of course. Yeah, and it's funny because they're all dancing on a slant. I mean, that makes the whole dance even more of a challenge.
Were you listening to Bruce Molsky live or something? I've been curious about. You're from the Bronx, yes?
Yeah.
So the Southern Appalachian music, how did you get involved in the Southern music tradition?
Well, New York's always kind of been a bastion of folk music, and in the 60s and 70s, it was kind of part of the center of the folk revival.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of Southern artists that were coming through, you know, on their way to Newport Folk Festival and wherever. We had, I got to go to the downtown McBurney YMCA in Manhattan and see Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys, and you know, Curly Ray Klein, and mostly I liked bluegrass there in the beginning. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I still like it. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, there's a lot of that kind of music, a lot of blues too, Doc Watson was a hero, you know, and these are all you heard them on talking about radio or on that subject. You know, I've always been kind of a radio freak, especially community-based, listener-supported radio, because that's where you hear the truth. You know, the truth as it exists at home. And we had WBAI in New York, which was still exists as a community-based station. It's owned by Pacifica now, but back in those days, it was not owned by anybody, and people could play what they wanted to play and do what they wanted to do, and it was pretty great. So I got a lot of my music from there.
Well, I'll let you know because Akibu, I'm not sure if you know, Akibu is one of the longest running community radio stations in the country, definitely one of the strongest. And this bluegrass show, for which you're performing, is the longest running bluegrass radio show on the West Coast. We're in our 38th year, I think.
That's fantastic, fantastic. I'm a city guy, and I've always managed to get around live in places with radio stations such as KBOO, you know. And in DC we have WPFW, which is a similar kind of place. And when I lived in Atlanta, they had WRFG, Radio Free Georgia, and you know, it's thank you for what you all do. It's great.
It's all the members. KBOO is run by us, by the community. We're just part of that.
Cool.